Then I'm going to recognize Dr. Baird, and then we'll go through everyone that's here, and then we'll start again.
Well, I'm going to continue on, Dr. Cusinelli, and have Dr. Park give his impression of, you started with an SBI award from USDA, and then you went to one from NSF. So can you share your experiences in those two programs and how effective or efficient they were to work with?
Right. So USDA SBIR, we only received phase 1, and then we received NSF phase 1, 2, and 2B. We did apply for USDA phase phase 2, but we did not get it. So I have a lot more experience with NSF than USDA. But both cases, we were awarded the full amount upfront, at least for phase 1, but phase 2 was tranched. But I think it was very helpful for us to get, again, I agree that as a startup, you need a working capital. And this is already a very competitive process, and this has been vetted for, maybe 10, 20% of the applications only get phase 1. So I think having that, going through the vetting process, at least in phase 1, my recommendation is also to have all that money put in upfront. I would also say that NSF has the grantee workshops. Every time I attend the workshops, I am so energized and inspired, and I learn so much because, again, the business formation, venture capital raising, and there's something that you don't really learn much, but having the experience of like-minded entrepreneurs and experienced VCs as a speaker and learn from them firsthand, for me, was extremely valuable as a first-time entrepreneur.
Thank you. My next question, I'm going to start, Dr. Tilbury. What steps does NSF take to measure the success of its two programs, SBIR?
So we do a lot of assessment of all of our programs at NSF. We certainly survey the awardees and get their feedback on what they're doing. And we've made quite a lot of changes in the last few years. In fact, a couple of years ago, we changed the program so people could submit a pitch before they had to register with the federal government and fill out 37 forms before they could write a 15-page proposal and hear that their project wasn't appropriate for NSF. So we try to streamline based on the assessment that we had and the feedback from the PIs. And we, take data. So there's some data in my written testimony, but a new number that I got this morning was that if you look at awards we've made since 2014, there's been more than $9 billion in subsequent funding that these companies have received from venture capital or other awards. And more than 100 of those companies have been acquired, which is often a goal, as Johnny Park talked about with his company. You have more specific questions, or?
No, I think that's good. Dr. Feldman, would you continue that on, what you look for, what criteria you use to measure the success?
The success of the program, I think, extends way beyond just the individual companies. And so the SBIR program at universities has really helped to change the culture and to put more emphasis on commercializing academic discoveries. And so that has been very positive. We also know that through the program, agencies are able to source great ideas from small companies, and those companies will have ideas that have escaped larger corporations. And we have some evidence that this induces other people to look at those topics, so that fundamental discoveries that result from SBIR projects actually help to seed scientific fields that result in translational additional follow-on work. And so that is sort of an indirect effect. There are lots of effects in creating follow-on products, generating patents, but the generation of fundamental knowledge really helps to keep America competitive.
Thank you, and I'm out of time. Mr. Cusinelli, your answer to the previous question is going to have to count as my question to you. So thank you, and I yield back.
And with that, the chair would like to recognize Congressman Tonko for 5 minutes of questioning.